Welcome back, everyone. Oz here, and today I've got some r/am I the asshole for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading the post, giving you my thoughts and opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Agreeable Rule 6632. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter to eat healthy before chemo? Reddit has deemed this person the asshole. So, my daughter, female 21, is about to start BEP chemo. She just had major surgery to take out a tumor she had in her left ovary. She's eating very poorly, like takeout every day, like spaghetti, pizza, and Coke. She'll rarely eat healthy stuff. She says, I'm eating what I can while I can because in a few weeks, I don't anymore. But I think she should be getting more healthy to prepare because it's very intensive, i.e. nausea, acid reflux, etc. She said to stop making it about me and to let her do what she wants, but I'm really worried she's not listening to the orders of the doctor in regards to healing. She's going out to movies when she should be resting. She said that it's my body and to stop making it about me, but I'm genuinely worried about her health. Also, she isn't obese or anything, I'm just worried she isn't taking her health seriously. So, initially when I first read this, I was on the fence and confused as to why the person was deemed to be an asshole. Because I can understand why the daughter would definitely want to be indulging and having a good time before entering fucking chemo, but I also understood the mother's concern behind, well, her daughter's health and making sure she would be healthy during chemo. But thankfully, there's a comment down here by Mud Daisy that actually kind of outlines the main argument from someone who is a professional in this area. Oncology nurse here, you're the asshole. I specifically include education to patient families on the first day of what not to do, and this is it. Don't force feed, don't control food offered, and don't comment on food eaten. The only thing you should be worried about is if she loses more than 5% of her body weight, heading towards malnutrition and needs a dietitian consult for support. Or if loss of taste bud/smell sensitivity is causing issues. Your role as a family member is to just slow down and be loving and advocate if they ask you to. And with the advice of a professional in the field, I can confidently state that if what this person is stating is true, which I have confidence that it is, I would say OP is the asshole, and the rating that Reddit gave is in fact justified. I think this is a matter of the mother's heart is in the right place, but this is a good intentions pave the road to hell situation. After all, the daughter is 21 and capable of making her own decisions. Mediocre Nebula 1791. Am I the asshole for yelling at my friend when she took her nosiness regarding my girlfriend's personal business too far? Reddit has deemed this person not the asshole. I'm pissed over this, so please tell me if this makes sense. I, 22 female, have been with my incredible girlfriend, Lyanne, 22 female, for just over a year now. I introduced her to all my friends about 4 months in, and since then she's been hanging out with us, 7 including me, regularly. So, I have a friend, Freya, 23 female, who is kind of nosy. For a couple of weeks, Lyanne has been out of town, and before anyone asks, she didn't want me to come. I offered, but she said she just needed to do this alone. For family issues that I won't spill here. Freya has been nagging me like crazy about it. Me and my friends all go to the same university and we hang out pretty much every day, so I can't avoid her. First, I thought it started as an honest concern. I told her what I said before, but she's out of town for some family stuff, plain and simple, subtly trying to get the idea across that it's none of her fucking business. She accepted that. For all of one day. Then she amped it up to pressing about exactly what the family thing is. I just kept shutting her down, calmly asking her to drop it, saying that Lyanne doesn't want her stuff being aired out like that, which she had explicitly told me. But she just wouldn't take no for an answer, just kept insisting that it was fine if she knew, and I would just ignore her. But last night was my last straw. We were hanging out at a local bar when Lyanne called. I told my friends I'd be back in a bit and went outside to take it. Lyanne was pretty upset, so I told her I'd get a cab and go home so I could fully focus on her. I quickly went back into the bar to tell my friends I had to go, and mind you, I still had Lyanne on the line because I was only anticipating for it to take a minute. I just said something like, "Hey guys, but I gotta go, see you later," and pointed at the ongoing call. Freya, who was dead sober, decided it was a great idea to try and grab my phone from my hand, yelling questions at Lyanne. I backed up and held the phone to my chest, completely surprised because seriously, what the fuck? I yelled at her to back off and told her my girlfriend's personal stuff was none of her business. She spluttered for a second and everyone else just staring at us bewildered before I left. I talked to Lyanne on the way home and told her what happened, but said it was no big deal right now and refocused the conversation on what she needed to talk about. By the time I got home, I had turned my phone on Do Not Disturb and was FaceTiming Lyanne, so I didn't see the messages from my friends until today. Freya was pissed that I yelled at her, and two of our other friends, Toby, 23 male, and Clay, 22 male, shared the same sentiment of me embarrassing Freya by getting so angry at her when she was just worried about Lyanne. The rest of my friends were asking me if I was okay and siding with me. I just want to know, despite my friends and Lyanne telling me Freya was totally weird for it, did I overreact? I'm starting to feel a bit guilty. I never yell like that. Nah, you're totally fine. Freya, of course, is going to feel like you embarrassed her and that's just her prerogative. But the thing is she probably specifically reached out to Toby and Clay, who may or may not, tinfoil hat theory here, have a thing for her and are willing to side with her in order to get closer to her. 100% a tinfoil hat theory, but it makes sense, all things considered, that I could definitely see it happening where Freya reaches out and tries to get comfort from Toby and Clay, talking about how embarrassed she was and how it was unacceptable that she did that and yada yada yada. And Toby and Clay, wanting to be the knights in shining armor, decided to step up and speak up for Freya. Granted, that is just a headcanon though. But yeah, no, even if there wasn't the preconceived context of you and Freya having the conversation that what was going on with your girlfriend was none of her business, reaching for someone's phone to snatch it while sober, even while drunk in that matter, and trying to barrage them with questions over the phone about their personal life is already unacceptable, but adding in the history of OP consistently telling them, hey, this is none of your business. Hey, stop asking these questions. Hey, knock it off. This isn't any of your business. And yet, at the moment that she gets where she can get full contact with Lyanne, she tries to snatch the phone. That shit is unacceptable in a civilized society. I do think it is probably worth explaining to the rest of the friend group, especially including Toby and Clay, this series of events that led to that situation, and that it wasn't just unprompted and out of nowhere for you to yell at her like that. That this was an ongoing, multiple stage saga of very kind and soft warnings being thrown her way that she continually ignored, that culminated with the events at the bar. So yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Reddit here that she is most certainly not the asshole. Anonymous Mouse 82. Am I the asshole for correcting a friend when she said she rehomed her cat? Reddit has deemed this person not the asshole. Let's take a look for ourselves. My friend told a story about rehoming her cat because it wouldn't stop going to the bathroom on her bed. She said she put the cat in its carrier and left it outside of the door. Oh my god. Whew. She said she put the cat in its carrier and left it outside the door of a local salon before they opened. She said she checked in later and one of the girls had decided to adopt the cat, so the rehoming was a success. I told her that what she did was not rehoming and that what she had actually done was dump her cat. I told her that rehoming involves finding an owner and vetting them in advance. She got very angry at me for judging her. Am I the asshole? Yeah, that is definitely not rehoming, and that definitely caught me off guard reading that, because the idea of claiming you rehomed an animal when you just put it in a cat crate and left it outside of someone's door or shop, you're abandoning that animal and just hoping someone stumbles upon it. I mean, yeah, she could make the argument that, oh, well, I went back to double check that someone actually grabbed the cat, but still, you have no idea who grabbed that cat, what condition they're going to be in, and how they're going to be living from here on out. That's just cruel. I think in this instance, judgment is 100% justified. Am I calling her out on that? That's entirely acceptable. She can get angry all she wants, but the truth of the matter is she did just leave her cat in front of a random salon and called it good. Radiant Air 8814. Would I be the asshole to ask my dog walker to contribute to emergency vet bills? Reddit has deemed this person the asshole. Hi, am I the asshole? I have a 5-year-old cardigan corgi. He's an absolute unit, and as my friends say, he's high in strength/constitution and low in intelligence/wisdom. He often tries to eat things that aren't safe for him. I live alone and hired a dog walker I found on Rover to visit him once a day during the work week. Instead of going through the app, I agreed to pay her in cash. She's generally been great, but we've had a few mishaps like her not telling me when my dog ate and tore up a wooden hand fan. I've given her the benefit of the doubt because my dog loves her and enjoys his walks with her. Last night, my dog vomited up 5 or so partially chewed, large, bright orange seeds. They're from the kunti plant and are in the same family as sago palms, which can be fatally toxic to dogs even in small amounts. Unfortunately, they are part of the landscape in my dog-friendly apartment complex. I decided not to wait it out and took my dog to the emergency vet. They admitted him to critical care because the risk of him deteriorating was so high, even though he was in good spirits when I left him. I messaged my dog walker to let her know what happened, and she insists that she never saw him eat the seeds and that she tries to prevent him from eating things on the ground. I know he did not eat the seeds on my watch, because I exclusively took him to the turf-only dog park yesterday, which isn't near the toxic plants. This emergency vet visit is costing thousands of dollars. I haven't brought up the cost to her yet, but would I be the asshole to request that she contributes to this huge expense? I get it's my dog, but I also have never let this happen on my watch. I understand it was likely an honest mistake, but also I feel as though it's really irresponsible to let someone's dog eat random things off the ground, especially if you aren't paying close attention. Edit. Thanks everyone for your feedback. I will absolutely accept that I would be the asshole if I asked my walker to contribute to my vet bills. I had several people in my life reach out and suggest I ask, hence the post. I will not be asking her to pay. I will, however, invest in good pet insurance and will only pay dog walkers through Rover from now on. I will clarify a few things for the sake of this post. Yes, I pointed out the unsafe area. Yes, she knows he will eat things off the ground, but she also knows he is trained and responsive to several commands, including leave it, drop it, and wait. This plant is only in specific parts of the complex, which are easily avoidable. Yes, multiple sources have confirmed this was a life-threatening situation for my dog due to what was ingested. Edit. Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Thank you again for everyone's feedback. My Hoover of a dog is doing okay, his labs look good, and hopefully he's coming home soon. A few more things I'll add. I will absolutely be investing in a muzzle. Like some of you have suggested, it might be worthwhile to invest in a more vetted walker instead of Rover. I am very blessed, and my low rider unit of a dog's bills are paid, yes, by some of the very people who asked whether I was going to ask my current walker for compensation. I walked my apartment complex's property this morning. On the very far side of my building, there is a line of these palms that were apparently just trimmed, and there are huge piles of the seeds all lined up. Dog walker admitted to letting my Dyson dog sniff the seeds, so I don't know. It's a moot point because there are lots of things I will do moving forward to prevent this from happening again. Boy, I'm dense. I genuinely don't know why I didn't think of a muzzle in the first place. I've used things like grazing muzzles for my horses before. Medical scares and renewed agency are one hell of a drug. I do want to say I've truly been trying my best. I came here for feedback and I got what I needed to move forward and keep my dumb dog safe. Reddit gives me tough love, and even when it stings, I'm grateful. I talked to the front office about the plants. If anything, maybe some signs can be posted. So, it does seem like OP has generally learned their lesson from the post, and there's not really much more I can add, except for the fact that you should definitely be targeting your apartment complex in trying to either get those plants removed or signs to be posted, especially if they do advertise it as a dog-friendly area but have plants that can be potentially fatal to dogs. That is definitely something you should look at addressing. And if it is expressly advertised as being a dog-safe area, it might be worth just looking at doing a free consultation with a lawyer. Now, I despise legal action for obvious reasons, but in a case like this is what small claims court is for. I'm not sure how much legal ground OP actually has in an instance like this. It really depends on a variety of factors that I'm sure a lawyer would be able to inform them of. But besides that fact, OP's initial gut reaction was pretty much an asshole move. I understand the temptation to go for that, but you would pretty much have to have evidence the dog walker maliciously allowed your dog to eat the seeds and it wasn't any kind of accidental thing. Plus, you decided to forego using Rover, which I'm pretty sure would protect you in instances like this and help you cover costs and whatnot if something did happen to your dog during the walk. So you made the mistake of going, under the table instead of, through proper channels that you were trying to establish initially. But doesn't matter. It seems that OP has learned their lesson and understands why they were in the wrong, so there's really not much more to add. Forsaken Year 7175. Am I the asshole for reminding my mom that she disappeared for 6 years? Reddit has deemed this person not the asshole. My, 18, mom and dad divorced 6 years ago. Her new husband didn't want her to see my dad, and so she let my dad have custody of me and didn't exercise visitation. She contacted us last month, saying she had divorced him and would like to reconnect. Dad told me it's up to me, so I said, why not? Things have been kind of awkward between us. Obviously, I've changed a lot since the last time she saw me. When she came over yesterday, I was reading an offer from a gentleman. My mom said, "You're too young to be reading those toxic romance books." I just stared at her and said, "I was 12 when you disappeared 6 years ago. I'm 18 now." She spluttered for a moment and then told me that there's no need to use that word, that she made a mistake and that there is no reason to throw it in her face. So, certainly not the asshole, and this is actually a conversation that I've come very close to having with my mother various times in my life. When I was 10, she disappeared from my life for 6 years. Now, I did visit her occasionally every now and then, and there were times where she did see me, but it did feel like that when she returned to my life, she still saw me as the 10-year-old that she left behind, and sometimes, even in my 20s, it still feels like she struggles to see me for being more than the child that I was when she left. Now, she's never said that I'm too young to do X, Y, or Z or, whatnot, but there have been times where it feels like she's treating and speaking to me from the guise of though I'm 11 or 10 years old. So I get it. I understand what OP's going through. And yeah, your mother has no right to criticize, correct you, or even try to parent you. She chose to walk out of your life. She made the choice to forfeit you being a part of her life, and she has no rhyme or reason to even attempt parenting you, even if you were still 12, and she had chosen to walk out of your life and give full custody to your father. At that point in time, she has no place or purpose to tell you how to live. And that's just beyond the fact that she still sees you as being a child that she left behind and tried to correct what you were doing. And the thing is, the reason why she's probably saying that there's no reason to use that word and that she made a mistake and yada 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 and you're throwing it in her face is because she probably does feel guilty for leaving you behind, but she'll never admit it. She'll never admit that she feels that kind of emotion or that kind of pain or that kind of guilt. Instead, she'll just probably take the approach of, oh, well, this is in the past now and we should move on and rebuild for the future. But the thing is, that's part of your childhood. Those years were crucial to your development. So yeah, you have every right to call her out for that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Not willing to share. Am I the asshole for kicking out my mom's boyfriend? Reddit has deemed this person not the asshole. When I was 17, my mom came into money. She tried to keep it quiet, but she paid off my dad's debts, bought him a small house, paid off her debts, and paid for my sister's college, and set up funds for mine. She had a boyfriend at the time, and shortly after him and his son, who was 7, moved into our new house. Over the next few years, Mom bought my sister a house after she graduated college. Her boyfriend lived with us and didn't pay anything, but he did work. When I was 21, Mom got diagnosed with cancer. It wasn't good. She sat me and my sister down and went over exactly how much money there was. She intended to give her current house to me, and both me and my sister were left with the large sum at the end of it. She asked if I would allow her boyfriend to stay in the house with his son until he got his own place. I agreed. Before she died, she told her boyfriend he would need to look for his own place, but he had time to save more for that journey. For the last 4 years, he has continued to reside in the house with his son. I haven't minded because we get along okay. I pay the bills, but he does buy food for him and his kid. He has dated off and on and mostly kept the women out of this house, which I respected him for. Until his current partner. She's been in my house 3 times, and at first, besides feeling a little uncomfortable, I was okay with her. The last time this past weekend was the point where I lost my shit. I was making myself some lunch when she came walking downstairs. She grabbed a plate and went to grab food out of my pan. I asked her what she thought she was doing. She started telling me how I should look for somewhere else to live, and leeching off my dead mom's past relationship as an adult was pathetic. I hollered for my mom's old boyfriend. He came down and I told him, I don't know what the current thing thought, but I wasn't going to be disrespected in my house. He wouldn't even look me in the eyes as he mumbled something about my mom promising him the house, and he was just being kind, letting me stay. First, that isn't remotely true. Mom pulled him and I together after she asked if he could stay to set expectations. My mom met him shortly before she won the money and told him and us girls that she had no intention of leaving him money. She did set aside a fund for his son for college when he gets there, but he cannot touch it. Only his son can. He has lived in this house almost 8 years without paying a dime. He should have plenty of money, and if he doesn't, that's on him. I told him he has 30 days to leave. I wasn't going to house someone who would lie and disrespect me in my house. He left that night with his son, but his ex-wife called me to tell me that I'm cruel and an asshole for her son losing his house. He's here every other week. I really feel like my mom didn't expect him to still be here, but my sister said she feels like I'm breaking my promise to my mom, and that made me feel like maybe I am the asshole. Look, he had 4 years to save up for a down payment for a house. He had no living expenses. He wasn't paying rent. He only had to pay for food. Even on a teacher's salary. If you're only paying for food, within 4 years, you could fairly easily save up for a decent starter home. Without a doubt. Not to mention, some states, not every state, have first-time homebuyer programs where if you come to the table with 1% of the house's value as a down payment, as opposed to the usual 20 to 25%, and if your house is under a certain cost limit, you can purchase the house with a 1% down payment. There is no excuse for him not to have found some place to live, even if it was like some kind of apartment or condo or something. Like, he had 4 years to save up, in 4 years of being able to stockpile money where he wasn't obligated to anything when it comes to his living expenses. You held your side of the bargain. Not to mention, he's still walking away with the fact that his son's college is paid for. He's not losing out on anything. He was very clearly lying to the people that he was dating to try to prop himself up to seem more successful than he was so he could get more action. And I guarantee that if your mom found out what he was doing, with the fact that she did not leave him a single dime, she would have probably supported your decision. Also, I forgot the fact that it's not just 4 years, it was 8 years. He had 8 years of saving up living expenses to be able to afford his own place. Where is that money at? That's a him problem, not a you problem. And also, just because I do want to cover all my bases, yes, it does suck that a child is going to lose the home that they've known for probably upwards to 8 years. However, the father should have thought about that over the last 4 years that he had, knowing that this was not a permanent residence for him to have. The only person at blame in this situation is the boyfriend. He's the one who did this to his child. He lied to his current partner to make himself sound more successful than he was at the cost of the person he was quite literally, and I don't say this lightly, leeching off of. Coffee first, then work. Am I the asshole for not throwing out a salad that wasn't mine? Everyone sucks in this situation, as deemed by Reddit. Let's find out why. I know the title sounds weird, but it's what happened. I work in an office with about 15 other people as an admin. Our jobs are to support the doctors that work in the office. We have about 20 of them in the office. One of my coworkers is severely allergic to peanuts and all tree nuts. So we have a rule that you can't bring those in the office under any circumstances. Their allergy is bad enough that they carry an EpiPen with them wherever they go. The other day, one of the doctors brought us food from a meeting they attended. It was a bag of sandwiches and 2 large salads. I was helping to take them to the kitchen when I noticed one of the salads had walnuts in it. I told one of my coworkers and she said someone should take it home as opposed to having it out to share, due to the allergy. I should have gone to another floor and disposed of it immediately. Instead, and this is where I might be the asshole, I said I'd take it home. So I put a giant bright blue post-it on the container that said, "Don't open," with my name, and put it in the fridge. Unfortunately, I had an emergency come up and had to leave work early. It caused me to forget the salad, and I wasn't going to be back in the office the following day either. So I texted the other 2 coworkers and told them about the salad and told them one of them should take it home. Yesterday, I was working from home and got a message from the coworker who had the allergy. They asked if I had left the note in the salad. I explained, yes, but I wasn't the one who brought it in and I had meant to take it home. Coworker then tells me they had, for some reason, grabbed the salad and now they had to take a Benadryl. I apologized profusely, but they were obviously very upset and did wind up leaving work early. Later that day, our boss sent out an email reminding everyone that nuts of any kind, in any form, are forbidden at work and that everyone deserves a safe work environment. This email only went out to all of my coworkers and not to any of the doctors, which I don't feel was fair. I feel terrible I didn't throw the salad away, but am I the asshole for not doing so? So first things first, I don't think the coworker with the allergy tried to eat the salad in question and ended up getting an allergic reaction. I think it's more likely that they were rummaging around in the fridge and made contact with the bowl, and there may have been outer contaminants of walnuts on the bowl that caused the reaction, hence why it only required a Benadryl and not the full EpiPen. But I do think this is actually an everyone sucks here post, except for maybe the person with the allergy because they can't control that. Because OP, they did make the mistake of leaving the salad in there because they wanted to take it home with them, and they forgot it. They did, however, try to remove the salad from the environment by texting one of their coworkers to take it home instead. It's obvious that the people that she texted failed to do so. It's also shitty of management to only target the people around OP and not the doctor who brought it in the first place. The doctor ignored the rule of the workplace not to bring nuts into the office and just kinda, did it anyways, and caused the situation to happen. OP and their colleagues wanted to find a solution and they didn't want to waste food, so they saw initially no harm in leaving the salad there but planning to take it home. Only problem was, everyone left it there and it caused the person in question to have an allergic reaction. Like, if you did not take responsibility for the salad, I could honestly probably say you wouldn't be responsible for any of this whatsoever, but because you did put a post-it note on it with your name, you did take responsibility for someone else's salad that had nuts in it that weren't supposed to be in the office environment. But there is also the argument that you and your coworkers knew the salad had an allergen in it and kept it in the communal fridge for a longer than expected period of time. And you did take accountability for the salad. I do think this is an everyone sucks here, situation, but it's just messy. And I do think management should be aware that the salad was brought in by one of the doctors who were not emailed about the situation at hand. So yeah, I think everyone here, except for the person with the allergy, shares a bit of blame. But what do you think of this situation? What are your thoughts on it? Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code Oz at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.